Hey Fit Body family, what's up? Getting a little later workout today. Just trying to get it in, finish off 2020 the right way. And that's what this video is about and what we've been talking about in some form or fashion really since March is how to approach this year. And now we're talking about how to finish this year. Last week we talked about separation, right? How to separate yourself. And not just from others and competition and all that, but from yourself so that it can actually become a better version of yourself going into 2021. And I want to build on that and kind of come full circle with our kind of first theme. Once everything went down in March with the lockdowns and the presidential address on this whole, crisis and COVID-19 pandemic situation. And that was that a story will be told, right? A story will be told. So what kind of story is going to be told? By you, by those that knew you, so on and so forth about this year and how you reacted to this year. And that's what I want to kind of end with as we kind of really wrap up our last week or 2 weeks of 2020. And it got me thinking. I was listening to a podcast, sports podcast actually, and they were talking about the college football playoff. So I would say 99% of us probably watching this are a football fan in some way or another in this part of the country. And we keep up with, college football, and college football playoffs is all about do you deserve to be in, right? There's only 4 spots. And so they were talking about how several years ago, the first one actually, that one of the teams, Ohio State, there was a lot of doubt on whether they would get in or not. Some people said they should, some people said they shouldn't. And so in the last game of the season, they went into that game knowing that they had to prove a point, knowing that they actually had to leave no doubt. They had to leave no doubt in the playoff committee's mind that they deserved to be one of the 4 teams to go into the playoff. And so they went into that game and not only beat their opponent, but they destroyed their opponent, 59-0. Another Big Ten team, Wisconsin, so another big name brand. So imagine one SEC team going into SEC championship for us down here in the Southeastern Conference to beat another SEC team 59-0, right? They left a lasting impression, a leave no doubt message that when they left that game, they knew, and everyone that watched the game knew, that they deserved to be one of the 4. And that is the message that I want to share with you for this week's theme. It just kind of hit me as I was working out that this is that kind of year. This is a year, whether we want to or not, you will never forget this year. For as long as you and I both live, we will never, ever forget 2020. There's a lot of years in our life that we forget, it's kind of fuzzy, certain things. We might remember certain dates here and there, marked by certain events, but we don't really remember a whole lot, right? Here, especially the longer we go back with years. This is one that you will always remember. You can't forget it because there's so many things that happened this year that have never happened in any of our lifetimes. So this is a monumental year, and maybe not in a lot of good ways, but it is a year that we cannot forget. It is going to leave a lasting impression on every single person's life that they will always look back and remember 2020. And so what I want to leave you with these last 2 weeks is I want you to leave no doubt for the last 2 weeks about how you want to end this year, right? Again, this story is going to be told. We're going to look back on this year and remember something. What are you going to remember about it? And I've been doing everything that I can the rest of this year to fight, claw, scratch, and do everything possible so that when I look back on this year, I can say that I didn't give up, I didn't give in. I had a lot of frustrating nights, a lot of down, dark days, right, as we all have, or some really dark days, right? But I always try to do my best to turn it around and look at it from a different perspective. And it's always a challenge, but that's what I want to challenge you with this week, in these last 2 weeks as we head into 2021. Leave no doubt that you gave your all, that you did everything possible to finish this year on the most positive note possible. And that could be the smallest thing in the world, but it's what you're going to remember when you look back on this year. When you think about it, you're going to have conversations about it. You're going to talk to your kids or maybe your grandkids. I know that's what I think about. What am I going to tell my kids one day, my grandkids, about what was 2020 like, that monumental year, right? The last time anybody's ever experienced anything like this was like in 1918, okay? Over 100 years ago. So what are the stories we're going to tell? What's that lasting impression? What's that mark going to be? And that's what continues to drive me, continues to push me, motivate me. And I want that to be the same thing that motivates and pushes you these last 2 weeks. So leave no doubt these last 2 weeks that you fought, that you gave your all, and that you want to leave a positive mark and impression on 2020 as we head into 2021, all right? So continue to push, continue to fight, continue to stay positive. Have a Merry Christmas, and let's leave no doubt.